Right, I don't understand if I'm live or not because it's not showing up on my phone. I just need to make sure. Okay, so it's actually live. Let me see. Okay, so it's actually live. Let me see. Okay, so I can actually hear the audio. Okay, so I can actually hear the audio. Yeah, so it's all good. So hello everyone and welcome to this final round of season 14. We are back into Division 1 for now. What is the end of the first F1 24 season we are doing here, and we are ending it on a big one, a good old classic track, exactly how we like it. We are here in Japan at Suzuka for the final round of season 14, an important championship decider. We all know Suzuka in real life. It's a track that decided many championships during its history, and is gonna do just that in the game as well. I am BS Gabri, your usual commentator, and well, despite this only being the third race I've commentated throughout the whole season, because I also raced the reserve and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna be here to bring you through this Japanese Grand Prix, the final race of this season once again, to finally end this championship battle between it used to be Felix and Catracer, but now it is actually Felix versus Jeremy for the driver standings. Felix, after some penalties, he actually got demoted to P3 while Jeremy was in P4. This means that going into this race, Felix and Jeremy are only 5 points apart, with Felix being just ahead of 5 points. So he's gonna be looking forward to claim his 5th title in his career and to be the first 5-time world champion in F1 Total. And Jeremy hunting is actually 2nd driver title. And constructors very much just like the drivers, Ferrari and McLaren, but Ferrari with a significant gap to McLaren, Ferrari being ahead of 30 points. So if McLaren wants to gain the constructors title as well, Felix and Jonathan need to put one heck of a performance, while Jeremy and Sally need a very bad one to lose the title. And as you can see, we are closing it in style with this wet qualifying. As you can see, mostly drivers on inters. Yeah, it's definitely inters. There are Pinky and Bazooka on slicks for some reason, but it is definitely intermediate conditions as it is right now. Catracer sets the provisional fastest time, but with the track getting rubbered in by the second, the later you will go during qualifying, the faster your lap time will be. So Catracer is provisionally fastest, but I don't think it will last very long. So qualifying will be full wet. I mean wet with intermediate conditions for the entire duration of qualifying, but the race will be dry, as I'm being told by Phantom Fox in the chat. So I reckon this will be a very exciting one. Certainly just 12 drivers for the season finale, and Suzuka as well. We've seen plenty of Suzuka finales, both in F1 Total and in real life Formula 1, and it always produced bangers. There's not really much you can say about Suzuka. It's just such a beautiful track, very fast, quite narrow actually. It's not exactly the easiest thing in the world to overtake. There is only one DRS zone, which is actually on the shortest straight of the track, because the longest straight is the one going into 130. But there is no DRS there. But we've seen plenty of moves on the inside, on the outside. It's a beautiful corner, an iconic corner for iconic overtakes. So I reckon we will see just that going into the race, and I cannot wait to get started. So at the moment, Pix, Tom, Pinky, Jonathan and Bazooka with no lap time yet, but there's still plenty of time, 11 minutes and 30 seconds into this qualifying session under the rain in Suzuka. And we can see with the onboard camera, Tom now using track limits as much as he can, trying to maximize this grip in these very difficult conditions under the rain, and a massive oversteer out of the hairpin traction. Very, very difficult out of that particular corner, but now we can see the Mercedes approaching the spoon. Another iconic corner. There are so many iconic corners in this track, which is why we've always seen beautiful qualifying sessions and beautiful races. So it'll be a very good one. But Tom is on non-ERS, so I think he actually aborted his lap. He's gonna, he enabled auto lap now, so he's gonna go later on. We have Phantom Fox though, improving by 5/10 after sector 2, and we know obviously how easy it is to find improvement under the rain. The track gets rubbed in so much, and you always make so many mistakes usually on your bunker. It's always very easy to improve, and Phantom does just that, improving by 6/10, currently in P3, 2/10 away from pole position, and a little bit less from P2, from Felix in P2. So putting himself between the two championship contenders, Felix in second, Jeremy in fourth. Jeremy still in the pits, Felix currently on his outlap. Sully with a lot of traffic, and I don't think he started. We have always has not started. Tom is actually pushing now, so he did a double outlap and is actually gonna set his proper qualifying lap soon. And with 9 minutes and a half left into qualifying now, currently the fastest lap is 1 minute 36 seconds and 2/10. And with the track getting rubbered in by the second, maybe we can see even some high 35s, but at the same time lap times are so unpredictable under the rain, you cannot really try and think what's gonna happen. And that's exactly why it is so chaotic, both in qualifying and race. Race will be dry, thankfully for the drivers, but yeah, in qualifying it's just so difficult to predict lap times, so I'm not even gonna do that. Tom sets himself into fourth as of now, and Felix is pushing. Ooh, massive snap oversteer for Felix just as I go on board with him, and yeah, he definitely aborted his lap after a major Code Brown moment, so double out flap for the McLaren. Is gonna try again later on, but we can see Jeremy with the softs, but it's still raining. The track is still very visibly wet. There we go, I muted my mic, so yeah, I was a little bit distracted. Jeremy improved, no, not actually Jeremy, Cat Racer. Cat Racer improved his fastest time, going into the low 35s. So Felix, he's back into the pits after the mistake, which means that now his bunker is 9/10 slower than Cat Racer. So yeah, back into the pits for a fresh sets of inters. He's gonna try again later. Tom is not pushing Jeremy. Let's actually watch Jeremy, because I wanna try and understand if he's actually trying to use the softs. Like I don't know if he actually thinks that the softs are faster, but it definitely does not look like that, because it is still visibly raining with the track still visibly wet. I do not think the softs are a good choice. Yeah, massive understeer, and obviously on exit, yeah, definitely not slick conditions. So I don't know why Jeremy put the slicks under these conditions. Ferrari strategy, I suppose. Bazzoka about to start now, currently only 0.05 of a second slower than Jeremy. We do have Peaks lap invalidated. Jonathan on the softs going back into the pits. He definitely understood softs are not the way to go, and he's still in last with no lap time set. So 6 minutes, he needs to get a hurry. He needs to rush it a little bit. Tom is actually pushing, improving by 1/10 after sector 1, and he's just come out of the hairpin, so it must have been a big chance to either gain lap time or improve. Ooh, massive rear locking going to the spoon. The Mercedes is off the track, so he's gonna try again later on, and we can just see how easy it is to make a mistake under the rain. But no, I have to say, it looks like it's getting lighter. It's still raining visibly, softs are still significantly slower, but it does look like the rain is getting lighter. So I think we have a big chance of seeing lap times dropping even more than that. Bazzoka improving by 0.2 after sector 1, after sector 2 0.5, showing a relative purple sector 2. 0.5 of improvement now. He needs to find more time even at the chicane. He can actually set himself into P3 if he keeps this pace up. Watch out for the traction at the last corner. Bazzoka into P2, actually out qualifying Felix, and still 9/10 off of pole position, but he puts himself ahead of one of the championship contenders. So I think this just shows how much the track is improving, and it's getting rubbered in very, very quickly, so lap times will just drop lap after lap after lap. Tom is pushing again after his mistake earlier around the spoon, but he's still sliding quite a lot. Let's see if he actually brings his time down. 1/10 down, not exactly ideal, but still not exactly a reason to abandon your lap either. Pinky is setting his first chrono time. 4 minutes left. I think this will be his only chance to set a lap here in qualifying under the rain. And P2, Pinky goes even faster, 0.3 off of Cat Racer. Yes, the track is getting faster by the second now. The later you go, the faster you'll be. Cat Racer is into the pits, but we can see he's putting the soft tires, so he wants to have a look, or to have a chance to try and understand how do the soft grip. No, actually he's back onto the inters, and he's still on provisional pole position. Pinky in P2, Bazzoka in P3, and Felix is still not out on track, and he needs to go out on track as soon as possible. The track is getting rubbed in so quickly. He needs to go out on track and set a lap time competitive enough for pole position, but at the same time he's gonna have to improve 9/10 to do just that. And Pix and Jonathan not exactly looking ideal. Jonathan especially at P12 is not what you want, especially if you're fighting for constructors and your teammate is fighting for drivers. P12 is not where you want to qualify on the last round of this season 14 for a brand new fight that we've had in Division 1. It is not Cat Racer anymore, it is Jeremy. Cat Racer being fastest right now on track, but it was Jeremy overall during the season. So it's a McLaren versus the Ferrari. Now Felix going out to the pits just at the exact moment, not too late, not too early, so that his lap time can be as fast as he can possibly try. And actually I still keep looking at the rain and like the raindrops themselves, they look to be the same, but the track, I actually think there are less droplets on the track. So I think that's why the track is getting faster. So 9/10 off of pole position for the McLaren driver, but given the conditions, I think he will find them very easily, or maybe not so easily, as Cat Racer is out on track 2. Pinky retires in the pits, so he's done, currently pit 2, but he might be knocked out if the others improve that much. Phantom is out, Felix is out, Bazooka is out, Cat Racer as well. Jeremy is pushing. Sally is out, Pix is out, Jonathan is out. So Jeremy, he's already trying to improve his positions with 1 minute left into qualifying and 1.7 seconds off of pole. But let's see if the track improvement is that massive after sector 1. Yes, it is massive, improving by 8 tenths. A relatively purple first sector for Jeremy after the SS, and now approaching the hairpin, going down into second gear all the way to the inside. Watch out for the traction, but he does manage the oversteer quite well. It's a good exit, but in the meanwhile Felix is going through the SS, and Felix improving by 8 tenths as well, just like Jeremy. And Cat Racer is approaching the Kaiser Triangle chicane. So actually what we're gonna do, we are gonna go on board with Cat Racer on the Williams. He's gonna proposition, but DRS is enabled. Crucially, DRS is enabled on the last laps of qualifying here in Suzuka. So let's see if the laps will be even faster. Now into zone 1, flats out into 1, shape breaking into 2. Jeremy gets fastest with a 34.5, and Cat Racer kind of sliding on the exit, but now approaching the SS, going into turn, what is it? I think turn 5 or 6, now into 7. Ooh, massive snap from Cat Racer, going into the left-hander and finishing sector 1. It is a 1 second improvement, so he's already looking good enough for pole position despite the massive slide that he had. So he's gonna proceed more. Felix with a 33.8. Now Cat Racer with a little bit of a lockup into the hairpin, into third gear, out of turn 11. Watch out for the traction, using the overtake. Cat Racer is on an absolute fly right now. He needs to improve by 1.4 seconds. Let's see, after the spoon, fourth gear slightly missing the apex. And it has stopped raining, so it should be slick conditions probably. Now Cat Racer is dumping the battery on the straight just before sector 2. Does it improve enough? 1.8 seconds, yes, it is enough for pole position as it stands now. Felix in P1, Jeremy in P2, Phantom Fox in P3, Sally in P4, but Cat Racer is looking forward to steal pole position. Also Felix's hands and qualifying himself ahead of everyone across the finish line. 32.9 for Cat Racer. It goes 9 tenths faster than Felix, and with a beautiful lap, the Williams set himself onto pole position for the last round of Division 1 Season 14. What a lap by the Williams, flying under the rain, or not so rain because it has stopped raining, but managing the conditions very, very nicely indeed. And it's a very well-deserved pole position for the German, with his German not teammate but old rival just behind him, finishing the front row. 911 thousandths slower Felix behind Cat Racer. And then we have Jeremy in P3, the two championship contenders right after each other. Phantom Fox in P4, Sally in P5, Pink in P6, Bazooka P7, Tom P8, always P9, Action Henrik P10, Pix in P11, Jonathan, no lap time set, he will start from P12, and that's obviously not what McLaren wants if they want to have a shot for constructors. There you go. The race is about to get underway, and it is clear skies over Suzuka. So that's one less problem for the drivers, one less exciting factor for me as a commentator. But Suzuka, with the rain, with the dry, always promotes great racing. We love to see it, so I'm absolutely down to see absolutely anything, even the most unpredictable of stuff. I'm so ready. I cannot wait to finish this first season on the new game. And the thing is, he received so many patches, so drivers had to learn their way through the entire season, and it's very interesting to see kind of that progress throughout the entire of the season. So in the end, who wins is the driver who adapts the most. One of the most important skills you need to have if you want to win. And at the moment, it looked like Felix and Jeremy had just that throughout the seasons. Almost every race they did, it was on the podium. But now it's not about podium, it's about championships. Let's remember 5 points is the gap. 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Suzuka for the final round of season 14. It's lights out and then away we go, and it looks like a very good start from Cat Racer, but Jeremy and Felix are already going side by side into turn 1 as Jeremy gets the outside line and he gets past already in turn 1 immediately as Felix is now in P3 following his championship contender Jonathan with a great start into P8, but there is a VCAP going off track and some contact between the Ferrari and the Mercedes. There is a winner flying, the VCAP Phantom Fox with a terrible start and creating some traffic during in the back markets, but Tom down in P11 and on in P7. I think he's on AI for some reason. I don't know if it's disconnected, but it's a terrible start for the Mercedes. Now the VCAP and the Red Bull fighting as Pix in the Red Bull in P8. Jonathan, actually it's Jonathan in P8 now chasing Phantom Fox, and from Kart Racer to Jonathan, we already have the first DRS train, but Jonathan is barely trying to hang on onto DRS of Phantom Fox, just had 1.1 seconds. It might actually be outside of the 1 second gap and going into the second lap of this Japanese Grand Prix. But Felix already not exactly the start he wanted, so he's already trying different lies as his rival ahead of him. There is already a spin, yellow flags for Phantom Fox. Phantom Fox going deep or spinning at the chicane. Jonathan is into the pits, so already chaos for Jonathan and Phantom Fox into the second lap. But now Felix is already trying to go side by side around turn 3, and there is some slight wheel banging, but he keep it on track. Felix trying to get his slipstream throughout the entire race, chasing Jeremy as close as he can. He knows that he needs to make a move somewhere. He needs to get past eventually in some moment, so he cannot afford to lose much time to the Ferrari behind. But in the meanwhile, there is Jeremy's teammate Sully in P5, barely clinging on to the DRS of Pinky ahead. So not exactly what Sully wants to see ahead of him. A non-championship contender just ahead of him. For him, it's only traffic. It's only someone that he needs to overtake ASAP. Now Jeremy, he can get all of the slipstream from Kart Racer ahead, going into 130R. No DRS, but plenty of tow from the cars ahead. 3.5 is the gap from Jeremy to Kart Racer and from Felix to Jeremy. And Kart Racer with a massive snap oversteer around the last corner, and Jeremy gets the lead of the race. But now Felix, not exactly what he wants, because now he has Kart Racer in his way, and Jeremy with the DRS is getting even further. So Felix is gonna be so frustrated with Kart Racer's mistake and being in between the two of them. He needs to get past as soon as possible, because he's not chasing Kart Racer, he's chasing Jeremy, and with this Williams on his way, it's only a disadvantage for him. So let's see if he's gonna try even a desperate move even this early into the race, because he absolutely needs to hold on to the DRS of Jeremy. If Jeremy goes away, it's already a very much compromised chance for Felix to eventually overtake him later on. But Pinky is gaining a lot of time to Felix, especially on the braking. We haven't seen the tires, but they're all mediums except for Jonathan pitting already on the first lap. He's going into the hards. Jeremy in the lead, Cut Racer just behind him, and there is a very solid DRS train just behind of Jeremy. Cut Racer will have the DRS, but so will Felix, so it's an opportunity for both of them to try and gain time, all positions. But Felix absolutely does not gain anything on Cut Racer. The DRS effect is just so massive. Felix is not gaining absolutely anything on the straight, but he's gaining a lot in the corners. Just look at how fast he is through the S's, as he actually has to brake and lift to avoid hitting Cut Racer. Even with the dirty air, Felix is doing a really good job to try and hang on to Cut Racer's gearbox, as he will eventually make a move. But yellow flags for a Mercedes. It's Bazooka going slowly at Degner 2, so losing time to Sally ahead, and currently Bazooka in between two DRS trains, so pretty much driving on his own. It's going to be a long time before he attacks or gets attacked. But it's top 5. What a train we are seeing. The gap going from 3 to 5 tenths between these cars. Everyone with the slipstream and everyone with the DRS going onto the main straight. So DRS is enabled once again, as Jeremy is trying and hold on to his position, but he actually does that very easily. Cut Racer is not exactly close enough to try and make a move, but movement between the two VCAP teammates, as Phantom claims P7 from his teammate, and 2.1 seconds behind the Bazooka, 2.3. They are on the same tires, same strategy, so it's pretty much a pace race. He's gonna get Bazooka purely on raw pace, because there is no DRS for both. Actually, Phantom might be under pressure from his teammate always, but if they play smart between teammates, always should not try and get past. Or maybe he can get past, but without fighting, without losing time to both of them. Now look at that, it's only a 1 tenth between Felix and Cut Racer. Felix has been inside into 130R, and they are still wheel to wheel going into the chicane, but actually no, Cut Racer keeps position after Felix tried an immense overtake on the inside, but it was not enough. The overspeed wasn't big enough to make a move, so Felix will have DRS once again, but he barely gains time on the Williams of Cut Racer ahead, but he gains so much into the corners, and he's gonna be so mad because it's not exactly easy overtaking in corners in Suzuka. And look at that, there is almost a bump drafting him. Does he try to make a look around the outside? Maybe we'll do a switch back. No, it's just so difficult. But Cut Racer is losing DRS to Jeremy. Crucially, Felix is absolutely not happy about what he's seeing now. He's getting so held up by Cut Racer and losing DRS to Jeremy. Exactly the last thing he wanted into this Japanese Grand Prix. Cut Racer going very wide, and Felix losing distance to Cut Racer on the traction out to the hairpin. And Felix is actually closer to Felix than Felix is to Cut Racer, but even Sully is showing up into the Haas rear view mirrors. He can actually pull off some unpredictable moves, maybe. I guess we'll see later on, but Felix definitely has to make some magic work. Does Cut Racer have DRS? He actually does. He's barely holding on to DRS. to Jeremy ahead. So Felix still has a chance. He still sees the light at the end of the tunnel in these DRS chains. Still holding on. Currently in P3, they are only chasing one another. No moves are happening, but look at that Felix. He just keeps gaining and gaining and gaining during the corners. And Car Chaser keeps losing and losing and losing. As we have a yellow flag for Action Rick going slowly through the SS. Oh, very big lockup, smoke coming out of the front tires of the Williams. Pix gets the first track limits penalties of this race. 3 seconds will be added to the time as he actually goes very slowly after Diagonal 2 and just before the hairpin. But look at that. Look at the gaps between Felix and Car Chaser. Now, Will Felix actually trying to overtake. He's using the overtake and Car Chaser is defending the inside line. So Felix actually no, he backs out to recharge the battery on the back straight. Car Chaser is still in DRS, so Felix isn't exactly losing time by doing so. So they still both have DRS going onto the main straight, and Felix is trying to save as much battery as he can, because as soon as he tried some kind of overtake on Car Chaser on the inside, and then on the outside Car Chaser was defending, so he does not want to give up that P2 easily, and it is obviously not what Felix wants. Because as it stands now, Jeremy gains the 10 points from Felix, which will obviously be enough to win the world title. Felix has already lost a title before at this track, with Car Chaser overtaking him on the very last lap at the chicane. It was the third title Car Chaser won on this very track, on the very last lap. So Felix not exactly having a great memory of it, not a happy memory of it. But let's see now. Does he try again, going into 130R? He enabled the outlap, he has a lot of battery left. He gets over the slipstream, but not any move going on. Has a look on the outside, forcing Car Chaser to take unconventional lines. But no, he still sticks behind. So I think we might actually see an overtake from Pinky or Sully sooner than Felix. Because they are so close to each other. And going into lap 9 out of 27, a third of the race distance is completed. Now the gap is 9 tenths. Car Chaser is honestly really struggling, but there's a yellow flag for a VCAB. It's Phantom Fox. Phantom Fox probably with a massive oversteer out of Diagonal 2, down in P9, getting overtaken by Pix and Jonathan as well beneath, and wing damage for the McLaren during the SS. He's missing half of his front wing on the left hand side. Down in P11, a terrible race from Jonathan so far, and it's going even worse. And it's a terrible situation for McLaren as they look further and further away from the Constructors' title. Car Chaser still barely has DRS. Felix, he's still not gaining on him because he needs to get past, but for now the positions always stay the same. And we have Jonathan beneath once again at the hairpin, going very slowly and getting overtaken by Tom as well. And Phantom Fox into the pits, and I don't know if that's some wing damage or strategic pit stop. It's a strategic one. Phantom Fox goes for the hards, so he's gonna attempt a massive undercut on the rest of the field. I mean, he's very far from the cars ahead, but this might actually be a sign that it could be time for the mini Ramen to go back into the pits and change for the hard compounds. And now Kart Racer, he's definitely losing DRS to Jeremy, and it's obviously not what Felix wants. And with Phantom Fox pitching for the hards, if Felix will lose time behind Kart Racer, I think it might be time for him to pit. He can attempt a good undercut on the rest of the field and gain time on Jeremy, who looks further and further ahead, especially after Kart Racer has been slowing him down so much. But he actually stays out, and Jeremy goes in. Jeremy goes into the pits for the first strategic pit stop, actually the second, because Phantom Fox was earlier. And Jeremy attempting the undercut, and he was in P1. Now with the fresh hards, he's gonna look forward to do a very fast outlap and to still be ahead out of everyone. So, and Felix has made the move past Kart Racer, but he might be screwed by the strategy. Jeremy will definitely go fast on the outlap, so now the gap 20.1 seconds, more than enough for Felix to be overtaken by Jeremy once he goes back into the pit. He should have just pitted this lap. He knew that he would have lost time to Kart Racer anyway, and it would have been difficult to catch up to Jeremy. He could even see Jeremy ahead of him. And if he pitted, he should have pitted too, because it's fine to be on the same strategy, but it's better to undercut, but it's fine to be on the same strategy. But it's not fine to be on a different strategy, especially now that Kart Racer actually has a look on the outside off 130R, and no, Kart Racer backs out before the corner, but actually has a look on the inside. They are actually go wheel to wheel on the chicane, and he actually pulls the exact same move that he pulled to win his third title, as both Kart Racer and Felix go back into the pits, and Kart Racer with a massive rear lock. Pinky gets the lead of the race with the lapped McLaren of Jonathan behind. And there we go, Kart Racer into the pits for the hards. Felix 2. Felix very far from Kart Racer and just ahead of Sully. And Jeremy, he gets P3 very easily, and the gap is 1.9 seconds, 2.1 seconds, 2.2. The undercut from Jeremy has worked brilliantly, so hats off to him to make this strategy work. A very smart decision from him, I have to say, not exactly a very smart decision from Felix to stay out and pit a lap later, because now he actually has peaks in his traffic, and he goes on the inside just before Degner 1 and gets the move very easily done. Peaks not exactly fighting as he shouldn't, because he's just in a way of a championship contender who already screwed himself over with the strategy, so he needs to just maximize as much as he can, because he's pit late. But we have a virtual safety car, I don't know for what reason. And Phantom Fox with no front wing at all, and going off track into the gravel, debris on the track, he causes the virtual safety car to be deployed. And Pinky uses the chance to go onto the hards, so it's beautiful timing for Pinky for a free pit stop under virtual safety car. All the joys behind will slow down massively, so I do think Pinky will be the leader of the race, the effective leader of the race, as Jeremy has to slow down so much. Let's see, it's so tight, who goes ahead? It's actually Jeremy who gets the lead, and it is legal. I think he made the move be legal, so it's actually Jeremy taking the lead, but Pinky with some great timing, he actually holds on to P2 and with a slightly younger tires than everyone else. Extremely fresh, hard, but he actually has to bring them up to temperature. Phantom Fox into the pits with a 10-second penalty as well. Horrible race for Phantom Fox. He was in great shape in Abu Dhabi last week, but not exactly ideal for him. And he goes with the softs, so maybe just attempting a fast lap. But other than him, the top 9 is completely on hards. Pinky does not have DRS to Jeremy ahead. Cal Tracer does, Felix does, Sully does, but what Felix is looking after right now is gap from Jeremy, which currently is 3.6 seconds, and it kept being so much worse after the strategy masterclass Jeremy pulled with the undercut. So Felix, yeah, definitely mad about that one. So he's gonna have to pull one heck of a recovery if he still wants a chance to get past. But now Cal Tracer gets the inside line with the DRS. He gets past Pinky very easily, goes back to the normal rating line. So it's P2 for Cal Tracer, P3 for Pinky, but Pinky staying very close, but so is Felix. Couldn't say exactly the same for Sully, as he's 8 tenths behind Felix, but look at McLaren, he's already looking for an overtake around the outside during the SS, but he can't quite finalize that. He has to back out, but he's still taking all of the slipstream possible. Going to that one, but Pinky going off jacking into the gravel, but he still keeps the car facing into the right direction. But now Sully actually try and have a move on the inside. There is a little bit of wheel banging, but Sully with a bit of an aggressive move gets the move done on the inside, outbreaking Pinky at the hairpin. He gets before Pinky, who actually had a chance of leading this race after the virtual safety car ended. He's now down into P5, being overtaken by Sully, and Sully now has a chance to overtake Felix. Felix has a chance to overtake Cal Tracer. Cal Tracer does not have a chance to overtake Jeremy because he pitted much later than he needed to. But Felix gets touched by Pinky at the chicane, so Pinky outbraking himself. Does he have wing damage? I think he does. I think he's missing the left end plate. I can't quite see it from here. Yes, it's wing damage from Pinky. Pinky rear-ending Felix in the chicane, luckily not sending him out of track, but almost doing that. But Pinky just compromised himself with a damaged front wing, so Sully might actually pull a move very soon. As you can see, Pinky going very slowly, and Sully might be at risk of losing the RS to Felix ahead. Going into lap 15, we are into the first half of this Japanese Grand Prix, and Sully still has a look now on the outside, tries for a switch back for a later apex, but can't exactly work that out. Pinky has a little bit of wheel spin, but it doesn't compromise him exactly. 39.8 fast attack from Phantom Fox. He tries to just maximize as much as he can with those soft tires. And yeah, well, his race pretty much screwed for since a couple of laps now. Sully takes all the slipstream from Pinky. Felix gets all the slipstream from Cal Tracer. Pinky still maintains position despite the damaged front wing, but now I think Sully will down the battery. He has the inside line, they are still going, they're already going wheel to wheel on the main straight, but so are Felix and Cal Tracer. So Felix gets P2 and Sully gets P4. So 1.8 seconds is the gap from Sully and Cal Tracer in 4th and 3rd respectively. So I do think if Sully keeps pushing, I think he still has a chance of trying and gain some distance to Felix, to actually catch Tracer ahead. But the gap between the Ferrari and the McLaren is far from ideal. 3.2 seconds, and especially since Felix will be put under pressure from the DRS behind, it's just gonna be so tough for him to try and gain time. So 2/10. The gap is still the same. They are still trying the best they can. There's yellow flags for an Alpine. It's Akshonik being round after Degner 1 and with a damage front after Degner 2 actually. But Cal Chaser gets the move down on Felix on the straight. DRS, so very easy pass. So the McLaren and the Williams once again swapping positions. The two old championship rivals who were fighting for wins in the last seasons are now actually fighting for only a P2 at most, because Jeremy just needs to bring it home and to drive consistently, because as it looks like now he's not gonna be put under pressure anytime soon. So he just needs to focus on not making mistakes and bringing home this win and the championship for himself and for Ferrari. But Cal Chaser is ghosting for some reason. I don't know what happened there, but now Felix has a look up on the outside before the spoon, but no, he takes the racing line as normal. But he goes off track, and I think Felix might be on 2 warnings for track limits. Let's see that. Actually, no. Felix has no warnings, so that's good for him. So it's 2/10 between them. Now it's 1/10. Now it's barely a tenth at all, as Felix has the inside and gets past Vidal very, very easily once again. And the gap from Jeremy, it just keeps going up and up. 3.4 seconds. It was actually 4 seconds before the chicane. So this just shows how Felix doesn't exactly have a chance to really attack Jeremy. I think Constructors is very much into the hands of Ferrari. In the drivers, as of now, it is in the hands of Jeremy, but 18 laps out of 27. 10 laps left. Anything can still happen, so it's way too soon, way too early to judge, way too early to tell if Jeremy will actually bring home this championship. So many factors that could change this result, so it's just gonna be in the near future whether we see if he actually overtakes him or not. Phantom Fox with another 10-second penalty for speeding into the pit lane. So pretty much Phantom Fox driving on his own as he gets overtaken by Jonathan and gets lapped by Jeremy. Now Cal Chaser has the inside line with the DRS, goes back to the normal line. There is a spin for Jonathan and he's missing half a front wing again, this time on the right side. The McLaren beating it after turn 2 and luckily still not a DNF for him. Goes off the track to let his teammate pass. And he is still spinning or oversteering all over the track. His tires must be fuming hot right now with all of those spins. Blue flags are being waved. Yes, Sully gets indeed past the lapped McLaren of Jonathan. One of the cars that was supposed to help the fight in the Constructors is now being lapped by his same rival. So let's see, the McLaren is still taking all of the slipstream possible. 1/10 going into the braking zone of the Casio Triangle chicane. 2/10 corner exit, 3/10 corner exit. DRS enabled. Once again, they will swap positions on the main straight, and Felix does that very easily, but actually keeps defending the inside line. It does not go back to the normal line once the overtake has been done. So but now he's up into P2 anyway. But Johnson is crushed! And we have a safety car! This has changed the race completely! Felix's teammate has caused a safety car crashing at turn 2. And this race is now gonna go upside down on lap 19 out of 27, actually lap 20 out of 27. This has changed so much. And now I assume they are gonna go on softs or maybe mediums through the end. But Felix, thanks to his teammate, sees the light at the end of the tunnel, and he now has a chance of fighting Jeremy again, especially considering that Kart Racer is behind. So he has a wonderful chance now. But we'll see the strategic choices in just a bit. Pix has already pitted for fresh softs. Jeremy goes in. Action Rick goes in for fresh softs. Jeremy goes in. Felix goes in. Kart Racer goes in. Sully, slowing down to avoid the double stack, goes in as well. Pinky as well. Bazooka very far behind, but I mean it's a no-brainer. Everyone is pitting for softs. And then soon we will have a 6 laps or so sprint of racing until the end to decide the championship. And Jeremy will be so unhappy about that one, because he was dominating this race, not exactly from the start, but he was looking very strong indeed, maintaining that P1 for so many laps in a row, and it has been drained down the toilet completely thanks to his rival's teammate. He's gonna be very mad about that one, especially if Felix ends up overtaking and winning the championship. I mean, for me it is so relatable to be in Jeremy's shoes now. So you dominate so much a race, and now you have a chance of losing it because someone caused the late safety car. And it just happens so way too often in this league, both in Division 1 and Division 2. It just gets frustrating at a certain point. But actually, crucially, the V-Carbo Phantom Fox, the lap the V-Carbo Phantom Fox is between the Williams of Kart Racer and the McLaren of Felix. So Kart Racer, Sully and Pinky, these three especially, because they look like the best of the rest so far. I mean, not exactly Kart Racer, but Sully and Pinky looking like the best of the rest. They're gonna have a little bit of traffic ahead of them, so not exactly ideal. But now it's lap 21. Pix and Actionic are still very far behind, so I assume we're gonna resume at the end of lap 22. So resuming on 23, it's 5 laps of racing, a 5-lapper, the same distance of the average open lobby to decide a championship. I will not want to be in Jeremy's shoes right now, because Felix is obviously so happy about the one, but Jeremy must be fuming, and I can totally understand him. Phantom Fox goes back into the pits actually to serve his. I've lost counts of how many penalties. very goes for the soft as well for this final stint, this final sprint here at Suzuka. So on track, the order is Jeremy, Felix, Kartracer, Sally, Pinky, Bazooka, always Tom, because he's behind always. Then we have Pix, then Phantom Fox, who is actually behind Action Rick in terms of positions, but just ahead in terms of on-track position. So there are actually a lot of lap guards in this safety car group. I think Action Rick might need to get a move on, because the safety car could actually get called anytime soon. But actually, I do think it will get in this lap. It will go in this lap. Oh, but there's a Mercedes. Tom almost crashing under safety car, and no, it's actually Bazooka. Bazooka almost crashing under safety car, but the safety car. There we go, safety car in this lap, a late call with Ashton need to catch back. Oh, but there's lots of braking, lots of brake checks just before the chicane, and cars going off track. I hope that the results don't get modified by the stewards because of this. But Jeremy will lead the starts, second gear, third gear, still weaving a very late restart, warming up the tires, and Jeremy goes just before the DRS sign, and Felix has reacted decently, as the gap is 3 tenths and a half, but we are starting this 5-lap sprint to decide the championship of this season 14 in Division 1. Felix is already so much faster in the corners, so he's gonna maybe pull a move somewhere in the SS. It's risky in the underworld, but Felix actually with a massive snap over steer, and Catchers now has a chance almost going wheel to wheel, but no, he has to back out, so still P3 for the Williams. Felix in P2, but he's not safe in P2. One little single mistake and you are immediately drop into dead last, and it is not what Felix wants, or Jeremy as well. But actually Felix, as I say that, with a slight mistake, is slightly rear-ending Jeremy, but no front wing damage, so he should be fine to continue. But Catchracer, he's already having a look at the inside of the spoon, and he's trying to force Felix to go wide. They are still going side to side after the spoon, and it's actually Felix who is slightly ahead. Will Felix make a move around Jeremy on the outside? Maybe not, but Catchracer, no. Catchracer goes back into a line, but Felix now has a chance around the outside of the chicane, wheel to wheel with Jeremy, and Felix is team, but it's a spin! It's a spin for Felix. He makes contact at the chicane and loses positions. He drops down to P8. The last thing Felix wanted, a mistake at the chicane. He tried to go around the outside of Jeremy, and his hopes for a 5th title are now completely over. Or are they? Because Jeremy, yes, he's leading, but another mistake from him, and actually Felix might have another chance. Jeremy, he does not have to win this race. He just needs to finish ahead of Felix, just enough ahead of Felix, and he's gaining a crazy amount of points now. So right now what Jeremy needs to do is to not make mistakes. He can get past Catchracer, he can lose the race win, he doesn't care about that. He just needs to stay ahead of Felix just enough to close that 5 points gap. And right now it's way more than 5 points. It's 25 against 4. That's 21 points for you, and a costly mistake by Felix. dropping him down to P8. But actually, I wanna look something. Let's see the gap. The gap from Felix to Jeremy is 4.6 seconds. Now I'm gonna I'm gonna commentate between Cattracer and Sully going side by side after 1/3 hour. Actually, Sully battling so hard with Cattracer, and he's now in second, and this might actually be a Ferrari 1-2 in Suzuka to claim the Constructors title in spectacular fashion. I think mathematically it's 99% sure to be won by Ferrari with Jonathan DNF and Felix down the order, but now it's just a testament to Jeremy. If he can keep it consistent, just bring it home for these final 3 laps to win his second championship in his career. But actually, I'm gonna have to look at the race directors. I'm gonna have to see the track limits warnings. Jeremy, let's see, he has one warning. One warning for Jeremy for track limits. So 2 more and he might be in big trouble, because if he gains enough time, just below 3 seconds, he may actually be ahead of him and still have another chance for the championship. And there we go, we can see Felix pushing like crazy to overtake anyone with no mercy. After that mistake, he's going side by side with Always, and he gets the move done very easily. But now he's gonna go through this traffic with Bazooka and Pix, fights in 4th position. He goes on the inside, but again contact. Felix makes contact once again at the chicane. He now goes wheel to wheel with Bazooka around the last corner. He has more traction, so he's faster, but now he's also gonna have the DRS, so can he get past Pix as well? Yes, but Bazooka is still defending that position. Felix still on the inside, defending that P5. Felix still defends the positions, and is getting closer and closer to Jeremy. 4.1 seconds. If Jeremy gets a track limit penalties, he might actually be over for Felix. Felix absolutely on a rampage now. It's not gonna be enough at this moment, but if anything happens to Jeremy or to the other cars in between, Felix still has that 1% of hope and possibility to gain the title. He knows he must not give up. He must push like crazy. If anything happens ahead of him, he still has a last chance. Hope is always the last thing to ever die. And that's the mindset Felix is going by right now. Constructors might be definitely over for now. But if the unpredictable happens, if the impossible happens, Felix might still get it, but we don't know. We don't know absolutely anything about what can still happen. It's only 1 lap of racing left. The final lap of this season 14 in Division 1. Cattracer has the DRS. He gets past Jeremy, and for Jeremy is not a problem. A P2 is absolutely not a problem with a P5 from Felix. It might just be a little bit of a disappointment for Ferrari to not get a 1-2, but they do not care about that. They just care about finalizing the results at the end of the season. So Jeremy, he just needs to bring it home extremely safely. But actually, he gets past. Cattracer lets Jeremy past. I'm not sure why Cattracer did that, but he actually lets Jeremy go past him. Not exactly sure how. I'm not sure if it's DRS games or slipstream games or whatever. But Jeremy is back into the lead after a questionable move from Cattracer, but now he just needs to bring it home. He's so close to doing that. He has won in Season 6 back in 2021. It has been 3 full years since his last title. He gets overtaken by Cal Tracer on the final lap around 130R, but he does not care about that, because for Jeremy it's a dream come true across the final corner, and Jeremy wins the second championship in his career. He goes home in P2 for this Japanese Grand Prix, but now it's official. It's a double podium for Ferrari, second and third place. Wonderful result for Ferrari to get the constructors with a beautiful gap from McLaren, but Jeremy has officially done it after years of suffering and challenging. He has finally done it. It's a second title to his name in the history of F1 Total and in the history of Division 1. And he's gonna be very, very, very happy about that one. Who's gonna be very, very mad will be Felix. That mistake at the chicane, it's what cost him the chance of a fifth title. Catchers are doing backflips on the podium. He wins the race, but all the focus is on the two Ferrari men, especially on the one to the left in P2. Very happy to spray the champagne, and it's red and white on the podium here in Suzuka. No orange in sight. It's only Williams and Ferrari, two of the three historic teams that could have fought for the championship. But now it is officially done. The last race of season 14, Division 1, Cat Racer brings home the 25 points for Williams. But now Jeremy can finally proudly say, I am a two-time world champion. His teammate Sully closing the podium, Pinky in P4, Felix, heartbreak for him, only a P5, and he's gonna be very mad about that one in the following days. So heartbreak for him. Bazooka in P6, Pix in P7, always in P8, Action Rink in P9, and Phantom Fox with a terrible race still closes in P10, getting that last point. And wow, what a journey this has been. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't exactly commentate all of the races, because it was only 3 races, including this one I commentated. But actually I'm gonna say, because I helped Ferrari in the constructors so much, because I won in Canada reserving for Sully, and Jeremy finished behind him, so I contributed to a 1-2 to Ferrari and to the constructors' chances. So a commentator probably changing the course of this championship in the constructors, but not in the drivers. It is very, very well deserved by Jeremy and Felix, despite his fight that he put out through the entire season. He ended 3 fights behind Cal Tracer, losing all of those, and now he's been defeated for the 4th time in a row. A different rival, but another championship lost, as he's still equal on Cal Tracer with titles, 4 for both of them, but now it's a new number to add on the list, not 1 for Jeremy anymore, but now it's actually 2. So this has been the end of season 14 in Division 1. What a race it has been, and I am very glad to have commentated for you. So thank you for watching. There will be another stream for the season finale at the same track in Division 2. Will be commentated by Felix and don't know by who else. I will be racing in that. Hopefully bringing Ferrari a constructors title. Actually, this season, both in Division 1 and Division 2, has been dominated by Ferrari, because a Ferrari driver just won the title in Division 1. Ferrari just won the constructors in Division 1. Now in Division 2, a Ferrari driver, Cuco, is still in the lead of the standings, and Ferrari is second, but it's only 5 points from actually 4 points, I don't remember, but so many little points, so many few points from Ferrari and Williams in constructors. So it's gonna be one heck of a fight in Division 2 that I'm gonna be a part of. Hopefully Ferrari can win both titles in Division 2 as well, so we can truly call it the F1 Total Ferrari domination. So I'm looking very forward to that. But until then, that is gonna be on Wednesday, and this has been the last Saturday race for a while. We will be back like I think in the final week of October. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, about 2 to 3 weeks of break. In the meanwhile, if anyone is listening and interested, we have a Gran Turismo 7 endurance race next Saturday, so the 12th of October, as the off-season event. 3 hours of Bathurst in GT3 cars, so hit Felix up if you're interested. So self-promoting out of the way. But yeah, Division 1 is now officially over. Division 2 will be soon. And until then, we will see you when Division 1 starts again. A brilliant season 14 this has been, but I'm looking forward to see you again in season 15.